Sue Smith had a theory about the Ngozi Fulani incident. First, she brings up Misan Harriman, a longtime supporter of Harry and Meghan. Moreover, the man is also an ally of Ngozi Fulani, aka Marlene Headley, the black woman who accused Prince William's godmother and a former lady-in-waiting to the late Queen Elizabeth of racism for simply asking where she was from. The Sussex camp has been accused of causing a scene. Sue mentioned this in a video as a theory. The common denominator is Misan Harriman, a friend of Miss Fulani, or Miss Headley, whatever her name is, and Meghan. Reported here this morning that Ngozi Fulani has been invited to the palace to discuss what happened and how they can learn from it. Palace sources have now said King Charles and Queen Consort Camilla will meet with Miss Fulani. It's understood that dialogue is taking place between the palace and Miss Fulani's team, though no further details have been released yet. It's believed that this was a setup. Ngozi Fulani was wearing a mic, and Camilla was the target. Too many coincidences. Fulani, friend of Dr. Shola, has the same photographer, Misan Harriman. Just after the story broke, Meghan's PR, Scobie, came online saying people should support and donate to Fulani, and tried to raise £100,000. Fulani's Twitter account shows numerous tweets supporting Meghan. Meghan allegedly is behind this incident. Deanna Eppers-Oncora said, "A black British woman attended a soiree at Buckingham Palace where she wore her hair up in elaborate braids, wore African jewellery and African traditional clothing. In other words, Ngozi Fulani went all dressed up, not in Western clothes, but African traditional clothes. Which is fine since we can all wear exactly what we want to, except Ngozi was trying to set up the inquisitive old lady. By the way, Lady Susan Hussey was a lady-in-waiting and served Queen Elizabeth faithfully for 62 years. And this race-baiting comes out during William and Catherine's trip, courtesy of the Sussex squad, and it's ruined the life of an elderly woman. This is abusive." Fulani had a microphone on her, sound familiar to anyone? Waiting for a white lady to ask her questions. Hussey did inquire as to Fulani's ancestry, but the nasty Fulani refused to say where she came from. She stated she was British, knowing full well the 83-year-old was curious about her ancestry. That's it. If I showed up in traditional Polish dress at a royal event, I'd expect someone at least to ask me where I was from. Why is the world getting so upset about inquiries to black people? Ask an Asian where they're from, meaning their ancestry, and I don't think the headlines would be as vile. But we're dealing with Harry and Meg's and their paid squad here, and they are very mean. Lady Susan Hussey didn't need to be terminated from the job that she loved. Harry and Meghan did the same things to Queen Elizabeth, and it drove her to her grave more quickly than if they'd just been nice people who left quietly and didn't say anything. Will Meghan abuse Susan Hussey too? Why does the uber-jealous Harry allow this? To what end? The poor woman, the godmother of Prince William, how atrocious and sickening, say the uninformed who don't know how sick and twisted Harry and Meghan are. Should have moved away from the mean Ngozi Fulani, but the elderly woman sometimes persists where others would leave. Think of Prince Philip. Meghan and the Sussex squaddies could have had a field day with him since he wasn't politically correct, but she wouldn't dare go after the Queen's husband directly.